Hi and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about our thoughts now that it's concluded of Series 2 of Strange New Worlds. As a whole now we've absorbed the entire thing, as it were. How did you find it?
I know you
there's a pause there. I saw that.
I know how you found it. I know how you found it.
Go on.
I agree with your comments. I don't want to speak for you. Of the episode run order was very jarring with things.
Yes.
But I didn't mind the series. If I
Yeah.
take it on an episodic nature, it wasn't the best series ever,
Yeah.
but it wasn't the worst. It was middle of the road,
Yeah.
but I enjoyed the episode. The episodes I really enjoyed
Yes.
were highlights. For me.
Yeah.
With the Lower Decks crossover being a big
Yeah,
highlight,
yeah,
which we were worried about for the entire series.
That I can agree with. I liked individually taken on their own, isolated from absolutely everything else. Individually, most of the episodes were above average.
And as the series went on with the serialised nature of it, it's helped other episodes for me because we got answers to things.
We did. Most of the things we had issue with did come back later on and were addressed. I'll give them that.
Yeah. So, for me, overall, and it's hard to obviously give it a placing because obviously we're only two seasons of Strange New Worlds. I'm sure as time goes on we'll be able to do a bit better of a ranking later on. But
do you think it was better than Series 1? It's a tough one for me, this is.
It's a tough one because, Series 1...
episodically, it was probably stronger.
Yes.
There were more higher tier episodes in this series. But taken as a whole, I feel like Series 1 was more cohesive.
Yeah.
Would probably be my argument.
And I think
this one was... I know you've mentioned it just, but tonally just wow all over the place.
It needed more episodes.
It definitely needed more episodes. It felt a little bit to me like they were just throwing ideas at a dartboard and hoping some would stick.
Or if they'd just changed the sequence.
The sequence, yeah.
Like if that musical episode had been the week before the Lower Decks episode, for instance. Yeah. And then the
I think they were afraid to put two comedies next to each other, but I think that actually probably would have benefited to a degree.
Yeah.
Or even if they'd have put it next to the Spot Becomes Human, which wasn't an out-and-out comedy. It was more skewed towards that. But it wasn't like as... If they put it with that one, I don't think that would have jarred as bad either.
Yeah, and I think if they'd done the Klingon War episode as last week's...
Yes.
That sort of...
led into this one.
Yeah,
that would have been...
tone would have
that
been
totally would have been better. It was just odd choices all around. But like you said, it needed more episodes. Yeah. It needed like a couple more episodes just to break... Because it literally went from about halfway through the series, it went comedy, serious, comedy, serious, comedy, serious. And it like 2 more episodes could have broken that up so it could have gone comedy, serious, serious, comedy. Which wouldn't have been, as jarring, I don't think, anyway. Most people probably didn't care.
I mean, the thing is, it's a tough one because I didn't see the Lower Decks episode so much as a full-blown comedy episode.
No.
I know it had its funny moments, and that's because you've got 2 actors in there that are comics by nature, and obviously the Lower Decks cast, quite funny characters anyway. And although it was
that's true, it had heart to it,
that's
so
something. Yeah,
it wasn't.
It just had moments of levity. I felt that did more than anything, and more Easter eggs really than anything. Yeah. So that one was the only thing I'd say, with the exception of I could put that anywhere within the series, and it would sort of sit there for me. But yeah, the nature of the series as a tonally, the series starts off with a very sort of like action orientated, dense episode.
Fluff. It was okay, but it was fluff. But it didn't really mean anything.
But what I'm trying to say is that as 2 bookends, they complement each other.
This is it. Yeah, they ended on an action heavy, not so Star Trek-y episode. It was more action based.
Yeah.
And that they started and they did end with it, which is what I expected them to do, to be fair.
I mean, I'm sort of seeing maybe the first episode of Series 3 being actiony, but also the more Trek element of that whole story. Yeah. Just to see how,
I don't think it helped that for me, the series literally, I think it was episode 2. It peaked with episode 2.
Yes.
It was the trial episode 2?
Yeah, the court trial, yes.
Which I think was the best episode of the whole series.
Episode 1.
It was and I think it set probably a higher expectation for me than was realistic. So for me, I saw it and thought, this is exactly what I would like this show to be, and hoped it would be more like that the entire run. And it wasn't.
Think.
Yeah, an episode that made you
morally think about stuff without saying something.
I don't know. This year just felt very much like they didn't know what to do, and so they decided to do everything.
Do you think we might be suffering from the Picard effect, though? coming off season 3 of Picard. Everyone's in a real big high of that.
Probably, yeah. And that did set the bar high as far as Trek and quality, essentially. I only found out this week as well how low the budget for Picard Series 3 was compared to Strange New Worlds. It cost something like a third of the budget.
Yeah,
that's wow. Because some of this series looked really cheap. Occasionally, like some of the effects were absolutely stunning. But like in the final episode where they just set it in a town on 20th century Earth, that to me felt really cheap.
I think a lot of the Picard budget went for casting, didn't it? I think that's where a lot of money went, and they were like, "Oh, that's why they reused." To be fair,
it was a lot of staying in the same sets.
Yeah, the Stargazer
well.
set.
A lot of it was bottled.
Yeah.
So it would have just been the CGI and the actors effectively, but that was what we wanted. So I think that was money well spent.
And the money was spent on one particular set that everybody wanted.
Yes.
The Enterprise D bridge. So
exactly.
So I think just coming off the Picard effect into this, maybe sort of irked. And obviously, as you say again, going into not what we expected from season 1, because we had that cliffhanger in season 1 of Una being taken away and arrested, and then suddenly
nothing to it. And for the first,
it's a very minute plot detail in the first episode. Pike's not in it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was the other thing as well. The first couple of episodes, like the first episode, Pike's not in it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we complained about that quite a bit. There was very little Pike, which probably would have helped unify things again to have that central character.
If in the first episode they'd had the bits where Pike goes to that lawyer and visits on that planet, if they'd had those bits in the first episode as a cut, just a cutaway, and that would have been 5 or 6 minutes of the episode runtime, leading into the courtroom episode. That would have been a bit more stronger for me, because you're continuing a story as well as giving us a bit more of an action episode to try and...
Yeah, I think part of my issue is, and this is something again that comes from a little bit from Discovery as well, is that a lot of the time that the science fiction element is pushed to the back.
Yeah.
It's literally like, oh, this is the concept, and it's not necessarily the plot, it's just used as an excuse to get characters to have interactions.
Where they need to be and what they want to do.
So it does feel very soapy in places, and less about, whatever the structure of the actual episode is, and then it kind of comes back to it at the end, and like, okay, yeah, we've solved it, it was a wormhole, that kind of thing. Yeah. And I can tell to a degree that they do have writers that are not experienced in writing science fiction. It was the similar kind of thing with Discovery. You could tell these were people that had written mostly for teen dramas and more soapy things. I know there's a market for that, and a lot of people enjoy that.
They're more, as I would say, modern TV writers rather than what you'd want for a Star Trek writer.
Yeah.
And again, I've said it before, I know Star Trek needs to modernise itself.
Yeah.
Because...
I don't think they've got the balance yet.
Yeah. I understand modernisation of the show. I get that. And Strange New Worlds could get there.
It does get there occasionally.
Yeah.
It gets there better than way better than Discovery has managed to balance that seesaw. I think they've done better with it at times. We focused a lot, I think, too much on Spock and Chapel.
Yes.
That was just an overriding thing for the entire series. Thankfully, it got resolved, and I was relatively happy with the resolution of it, but it did dominate heavily.
I think, as well, I'd like to have seen more Gorn plot points throughout the series, because
to hint to where we were getting to this point.
We had that cliffhanger at the beginning of that, the little blip on the map of the Gorn ship going across, and April making out like there's an invasion coming.
Yes.
And then there's nothing else. Now I know, looking throughout the series, if you look at the star charts all the time, Enterprise is never far.
I forgot about the cliffhanger thing with the invasion thing on the screen. That was at the end of last series, wasn't it? Or was it
the
first episode of
this series?
And then it was just nothing
mentioned.
I'd totally forgotten all about it.
And the only thing I've noticed throughout the series is the Enterprise is always positioned near Gorn space.
Yes, it is.
If you look on the star charts, they're never far away from there. So it's like, even just having that at the end. Well, no, not let episode 2 have it, and then episode 3. Having them being sent towards that sector of space, and Pike's, April saying to Pike, "You've got to be stationed around there for a while."
I think my main complaint again was just too many comedy episodes for me. I reckon. I feel like it should probably have one. If you only got 10 episodes, a comedy episode. Okay, if you want to go balls to the wall and do a proper funny episode in that 10 episode run, go for it. I'll probably really enjoy it as a break as well from everything else. But I feel like there was just way too much.
For me, one would have done the, 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 the episode that we both disliked, the Spock episode. if that had just been on its own, I could probably give it its due and just say, that's on its own.
Yeah. If the rest had continued from the tone of the earlier part of the
and
series.
that's why I sort of take the Lower Decks crossover and say that wasn't so much a comedy, that was
you didn't feel
a crossover, because
didn't feel as
we
much.
knew, so, I mean, obviously, potentially, the series as a whole, bit of a mishmash, but it was a good series.
Yeah, I think it was the best, not great series I've seen, if that makes any kind of sense. So like I said, individually, quite good. As a whole, not so good.
They've just tried to take tropes of modern TV, like the musical episode, we called it.
It just felt hodgepodge. Like I said, it just felt like they were just reaching for, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and this, and this, and this, and this.
It was like they've got a whiteboard with what they'd like to do.
That's exactly what it felt. It felt like a writer's room. Despite what I've said, I didn't dislike it. I liked probably 80% of it. I liked, and that's good, I'd say I really liked 80% of it. I liked 90% of it, and I disliked 10%. That's probably a better way of putting it. I was like on the fence about some things. You know, we did get some like proper. Who says what's proper? But you know what I mean. We got some slightly retro 90s themed kind of episodes. We had the one where they forget their memories, which I said it felt very much like a Voyager kind of episode or something. I'd like more stuff like that. I know that episode wasn't particularly popular with people though. For online, I was seeing lots of people thought it was quite dull.
Oh right.
But I don't know. It was a science fiction concept, and they carried through the concept the entire episode and explored it.
They never brought our favourite character back for that episode. The tray. The tray.
The tray should have come back.
The phaser dodging
Absolutely
tray.
should have come back. I mean, I say that they carried a theme through. I suppose you could argue that the musical episode, they carried that theme through the entire episode. But I did admit I was biased. I just don't like musicals. And to be fair, I've rewatched it when I was cutting the video together. I had to rewatch bits and pieces and all the rest of it. And I didn't dislike it anywhere near as much the second time, apart from that moment with the Klingons, which I stand by. Someone should have got fired for that. It should have been metal or Klingon opera.
We have read since that behind the scenes they were debating.
Yeah, they were debating, and I think they made the wrong call on that one. It was just too much. Too much. And I think it just gave fuel to the fire of people that were going to slag that episode off.
Yes.
That just gave them a 30-second clip that they can just put online now and say, look how bad this has gotten.
Yeah.
And out of context, anyone will look at that and go, what the hell?
And after Strangely also done such a good job of repairing the Klingons.
Yeah, exactly. The Klingons were back on top for me, and then they went and did that, and it just... Yeah, without that scene, I said I'd never watch that episode again. Actually, without that scene, having watched little bits and snippets of it again and accepted it a little more for what it is, I probably could have rewatched that one, but it's still way at the bottom of my favourites.
Oh, yeah. Like I say,
I still don't think there's anything
we didn't need it.
No, we really didn't need it. It's been done so many times.
It's not terrible in terms of, terms of as it was, for what it was a good attempt at a musical episode.
Yeah.
Actually, probably one of the best attempts I've seen for a musical episode. I just get
sick of people saying it's pushing things forward, and I'm like, how? By remaking a Buffy episode from 15, 20 years ago? I just don't see it. Call it for what it is. If it's a bit of fun, it's a bit of fun, but don't try and tell me it's groundbreaking, because it really isn't.
So I think what we're saying is if we take them episodically...
Yeah, which it is. It is episodic.
Yeah, and, we serialised plot points running through. But if you take episodically...
Yeah.
A good performance, decent performance for the season. Would you rank it above season 1 then, or do you think...
No.
No, you'd still prefer to...
I think this one had stronger episodes. Like, there are episodes in Series 2 that I think blow away anything in Series 1. I think Series 1 was stronger. But again, we had way more Pike in that series as well.
And I suppose then, how do you rate the finales? Because obviously Season 1 had that very good balance of terror, throw forwards and... Well,
to be fair, I could put the same complaints against that one, in that it was entirely lifting somebody else's work and repackaging it, which I think is lazy. I probably enjoyed that one more.
Right, I was going to say, because I was going to say, we'll say with that episode, the Idiot Reese ones worked, but it was clever how they did it.
It was clever it was clever how they did it, more so than I feel like this episode was. It
helped Pike get over his trauma.
But I think I'd probably rate this a 3 out of 5, slightly above average for me, as a whole again.
I can agree with that. 3.5, 3. Yeah,
and I agree with what you said. It doesn't help that it's come hot on the heels of Picard Series 3, which, for me at least, was the best Trek we've had for 15 years, 20 years, maybe. Whenever Enterprise ended.
With Prodigy being a close second to people that haven't seen Prodigy.
That's a good point. Prodigy, Prodigy was really good as well. But I watched Picard before Prodigy.
No,
I didn't watch it chronologically.
I just wanted to do a shout out to Prodigy there, because
Prodigy continues to surprise me. I still haven't finished watching it yet, actually, but it continues to surprise me, and it generally has far more complex plots than some of the grown-up series. It really isn't, no.
So just a little shout out to Prodigy there. But yeah,
it hasn't diluted how I feel about Strange New Worlds. I'm still looking forward to Series 3.
I've got a horrible feeling, though, unfortunately, it's going to be a while out because of the writers' and actors' strike. It's usually filming about now, I believe.
It might not be such a bad idea, but a bad move. The extra time.
Yes.
I'd hope if you were a writer or in charge of the show, even though you're technically not working, you'd be taking this extra time to really think about what you want to actually do. Maybe look at what you've done and identify what worked, what didn't work, and try and move more in that direction.
It's an opportunity for them, and like I say, it's but I think there could be I think it could be late. 2024. I mean, the good thing is they'll have Discovery at the start of the year to sort of fill that gap.
I'd love to see this series. No offense to Akiva Goldsman, but you did write Batman and Robin, so yeah. I'd like to see this series with Terry Matalas in charge, just out of curiosity to see what it was like.
Let him write an episode.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Right,
yeah,
can always come across him.
And
right.
He never wrote Batman and Robin, so that's also a plus point in his corner. That's about all there is to say about it. It's pretty decent, but not stout. It should have been better. So, if you've enjoyed this, please like and subscribe if you could. Drop us a comment down below to tell us how completely wrong we are. Probably are. I like talking back and forth because people often change my opinions.
Yeah.
People will write a suggestion. Someone wrote a suggestion in one of the comments a few weeks ago, and I was like, I never thought about it like that. And now I can watch the episode, and I'm like, yeah, that could be what's going on. And I'm much happier with it. So please give us your opinions down below.
We welcome debate, don't we? We're not afraid to be told we're wrong. I
like conversing back and forth.
Everyone's opinions are valid.
Totally. Unless they're hateful, then they can get lost.
Yes, we don't do.
Don't be mean.
Yeah.
Be kind, like the doctor says. So if you could do any of those things, that'd be awesome. And hopefully we will see you soon for our next video, which we're going to diversify now that Strange New Worlds is over. So I'm quite looking forward to it. We've talked Strange New Worlds a lot, so I'm looking forward to something new.
We want to do some new content, but we've just tried to get Strange New Worlds out of the way, and it's coming now, so keep an eye out.
So yeah, hopefully we'll see you in the next one.
Yep. Live long and prosper.
Bye.
It's coming now, so keep an eye out.
Coming.
Ooh. That's not even